In this episode, I open up my heart to make sure if you're playing this entrepreneur game that you're all in. This is the reality check that you might need at this standpoint, because I know a lot of entrepreneurs are straddling this proverbial line of having one foot in and one foot out. So if you're ready to stand back in your power and feel centered, alive, and stronger than ever, you're going to want to stick around and listen to this whole episode. So stay tuned. I'm Adam Kadu, and it's time to master the art of real heart alignment, where you live, work, and play from your personal power as energy aligns, your gifts flow, and life simply works. These life-changing conversations are designed to help you to see what you're not seeing, hear what you're not hearing, and to be who you're not being, as the world needs more heart-centered leaders now more than ever. Are you ready to say no to living a half-hearted life and say yes instead to boldly living from a place of real heart alignment? Welcome to the Adam Kadu podcast. Yo. Welcome back to another episode of the Adam Kadu podcast. Today, I have a very intentional question that I'm going to be asking you. But before that, I want to give a little bit of backstory with this question. You see, life, business, I get the opportunity, the God-given gift to connect with a lot of different people. I've got some amazing mentors. I've got amazing clients. I've got different people in the industry that I get to work closely with. And one person that comes to mind, Lisa Carpenter, her and I used to coach each other years ago. We joined Business by Design Business by Design, James Wedmore's flagship program, both of us back in 2016. And we met personally at Business by Design Live in January of 2017. The very first Business by Design Live ever. I think there was 45 people there or so, which seemed like it was like a huge event at the time. It was my first live event ever. And since that day, we had established a connection and we used to coach each other early on. Just because we knew we needed support, we needed somebody to help us to see what we weren't seeing. And through that time, I've just been able to have the blessing to work with a lot of different people. Being a coach for Jim Fortin for a number of years and still coaching for James Wedmore, I get to see the people that are really playing a game, playing a high-level game. And I often, just connect with these peeps. Because it's like, I'm a firm believer in surrounding ourselves with the best of the best in order to draw ourselves up. It's such a hack. It's such a cheat code. But what happens is we have our lives and we have the people in our lives. Sometimes you're fortunate enough to have people in your life that understand this work, that understand the game you're playing as an entrepreneur, as a business owner. But a lot of the times people just don't understand. They don't get it. They think it's just like every other business out there. And it's just set with the same rules, under the same code, on the same guidelines, but it's a totally different game. It's a totally different game. And sometimes it can feel lonely. Sometimes it can feel like you're an alien to this world. Like they just don't get it. People don't get it. You have this drive about you that you can't shut down if you wanted to. And trust me, if you did try to shut it down, and chances are, like in this world we're living in right now, I see so many entrepreneurs and my heart actually hurts for you and for anyone experiencing this. A lot of entrepreneurs are shutting down. And it's not just they're shutting down like, okay, I'm done with this. They're fooling themselves to think that they're still in the game and they're still playing. They're still going for it. They're still chasing their dreams. They're fooling themselves to think that they're still playing full out. But in all reality, they have one foot in and one foot out. And I remember early on when I started my business, it seemed like every 2 weeks, the question popped up, should I get another job? Should I get a different job? Should I, do this? Should I do something else? Early on, even though I felt like I was committed and my heart was in it, I had one foot in and one foot out. I was looking for that chicken exit. I was looking for that escape. I was looking for that outdoor. And what I realized is when I firmly committed to the path and I put 2 feet in instead of straddling that line, all of a sudden I got so much more focus. I got so much more clarity. I got so much more personal power through having both feet in, being committed. There is no other path. Even if, I said this before, just like 2022 was a hell of a year for me. I want to say it was a SHIT show. I was challenged in every turn. There was a lot of growth, but there was a lot of pain and suffering. And through the years, like especially the last 4 months of the year, I literally had it in my mind. I was like, man, like I don't even know where my numbers are. My books are in a mess. I haven't been, tracking any of my numbers, which I usually do. My mentor, James Wedmore, is big into numbers, right? The numbers tell a whole story in itself. And I was avoiding it. I just didn't have the time, didn't have the energy with lack of sleep and, everything going on. My wife's going through health challenges here and there. And, we're kind of butting heads about certain, choices that she had made and things of that nature. And there was just a lot, kids screaming and crying and teething and up and down and all around. It was just a lot. But looking back, it was like actually a decent year revenue wise. It was probably my most profitable year in terms of, and profitability, not necessarily the numbers, but the average, right? The percent of profitability. But the whole year, I thought I was off track. I thought I was, losing money and all this stuff. I had this story going that it was a bad year. But I found that I was able to continue to do my work amongst all of the challenges. And that's one reason and one reason only. I have both feet in. And even in those times, in those challenges, it was like, yes, in the lack of sleep. And I really feel like you start to lose yourself when you can't sleep, it's just like you have less of a sense of self-awareness. It's like you're in survival mode. It's like almost like your fight or flight kicks on. You're trying to survive. And that's what I felt like the entire year. I was just trying to survive. But I have both feet in. But there were times, even this last year, it was just like the thoughts were coming, just like, man, like things got hard. And I saw so many people taking the exit. I saw so many people just kind of, bowing out and not really showing up and doing the work that they were so lit up about, that they were so passionate about at one point. They're checking out, taking that exit. And those thoughts come up sometimes. I'd be lying if I said that they didn't come up for me. They usually don't. But this last year, it was just like, man, it's just like, is there something else? Like, it just doesn't seem like this is working. It's still working. It just got a lot harder. And I do see that there's just so many more people online these days, which is a good thing, right? Great opportunity for new clients. But there's also more noise now than ever. There's more reasons why things won't work now than ever. There's more excuses now than ever. We got so much talk about the economy and this and that and the other thing. And it's really starting to freak people out. We got AI now. Just like, man, how am I supposed to do my job when I got these computers that are starting to swallow up this and that, the other thing? It's just like, it's a lot going on. A lot of these little nuances that will chip away at your willpower and your brain if you let them. But if you're down to ride, you heard the expression ride or die. If you're down to ride on this path with heart that you're choosing, then you have both feet in. But here's the thing. There was a point in time where you started on this path as an entrepreneur. You did. You put both feet in. And I would love to invite you to see if it is possible at this point in time that you have one foot out. You're starting to second guess yourself more and more and more. What you felt that you were fixed and focused and committed, and you had this conviction in your heart to change lives and to do the work you're here to do, now you're starting to second guess yourself a little bit. And if that's you, I want to invite you as this rally cry here. to take this stand right here and right now to see what game you've been playing and to see that at any given moment, you can put both feet back in. But also, with the freedom of choice, you can get both feet out. And so here's the thing. It takes a tremendous amount of power to be 1 foot in and 1 foot out. It leaks so much energy. I would rather you stand in a decision to say, you know what, there's something else. I'm going to make a move. I'm going to do something else. I would rather you stand 2 feet in that decision than to straddle the line. Because what happens is you're so drained, you have no reserves for the other areas that are important to you in life because you're teeter-tottering. 1 foot in, 1 foot out, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Your brain is back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Your heart is back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Your fear is kind of up and down and all around. You're draining your personal power. You are leaking energy if you have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And sometimes we set out on a path and we're all in, and then all of a sudden things change, our heart changes, circumstances change, life changes. And we get so damn stubborn, ego. We get so damn stubborn to say, I committed to this, I've got to do this, I've got to do this, that we're almost just beating ourselves up. We're almost dragging ourselves through the mud because of something that we said to ourselves earlier. Or something that our parents said to us, or something that somebody else said to us, or something else. There's the law of diminishing returns, right? Like sometimes we've tried to protect the time that we've put into something, and we're going to kick and scream to make it work, even if our heart's not in it. That's a lot of ego in that. And so in this moment right here and right now, I would love for you to take this space. Take this space, take some time for you to really feel into this. Are you in or are you out? And yes, there's the conversation, being a coach for other entrepreneurs, I hear this a lot. There's this conversation of pivoting. I'm pivoting. And it's almost like a comfort thing. People pivot. Oh, I'm, pivoting this, I'm pivoting that. And for me, it's like even the mentality, the perception of you pivoting, it takes power away as well. Because it's not you're pivoting, right? It's not you're doing something different, doing something new, trying something else, trying something new. It's you're just navigating. You're just going. But each new time you say, I'm pivoting to this, oh, I've got a new message, oh, I've got a new offer, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. You are essentially stopping what you're doing and starting new. But that's a fallacy. There is no starting new because you take everything that you've learned in that next phase or direction or arena. So you're still in the game. You're still going. But this idea of pivoting, instead of just saying, I'm navigating, I'm figuring things out, I'm going for it, I'm still in the game. This place of pivoting is a place of weakness because it puts the pressure off. Okay, that something didn't work there. I'm going over this way now. You're basically playing this guessing game instead of continuing to move forward to exhaust the options, to really feel into what's not working, to really see who you need to be in that moment to break free from this paradox of whatever's not working for you. And there's so much growth there, but we get 5 feet from gold sometimes. And things are a little hard, or things just aren't quite working, or somebody, in your, environment is saying this needs to work, hurry up, and you're out of fear, out of desperation, you're throwing another dart at the board. You're throwing another Hail Mary pass. But if you had both feet in, you would say, I know what I'm doing. I'm going for it. I'll figure it out. I am figuring it out. It's working. I see it. I feel it. I sense it. I'm on it. But we stop every 5 feet and we're looking around. How does this person see me? How does this person see me? I've got mentors that, I probably should be further along in their eyes. I've got significant others that are looking at me in a certain way. I've got parents that ask questions. Sometimes I got relatives that are saying snarky things sometimes. How's your little business going? Or how's your thing going? No. And we let that influence us. But when you have 2 feet in, and you know your value and you know your worth and you're standing rooted in your centeredness and your strength and your power, because you haven't been leaking energy and power this whole time, that shit doesn't faze you. You're in it. You're focused. You're fixed. And people feel that intensity, that energy from you. People feel that conviction in you. And that's what people need more than ever right now is conviction. Because they're, playing the same game, half in, half out, that you might be playing right now. They're scared. They've got different things going on too. Their world is invariable. They have no centeredness. They have no strength. They're all over the place. They're flighty. They're afraid. And if you're afraid too, it's okay to be afraid. But it's also okay for you to plant your feet on the ground, say, I freaking got this. And I want to say another cuss word, but I think on my podcast, I'm only allowed to say 1 cuss word per episode, or otherwise they start flagging me. I gotta claim that I have profanity on this. I'm not trying to go down that route. It's just something, just an extra step. I just don't want to do that right now. So, but I'm feeling this, and I trust that you're feeling this too. And even if it's like, I'm playing a pretty solid game. I'm playing all in. 100%. Let's do it. But also, all I'm doing is inviting you to look. Where can we clean it up? Where can we tidy it up? You might even have one shoelace out where you put that shoelace back in the game. Now, you don't have a full foot out. You just got a shoelace out. You got a toe out. You put that back in the game. You're solid. You're good. And I'm telling you, people feel that. And when people feel that, they see you differently. And when they see you differently, they want to work with you. They want to know what you have to offer. They want to know what you're up to. They want to know what you're doing. That's the game. It always starts with your personal power. It always starts with having a powerful presence. And I'm not talking about a presence as in, I'm online being present or, doing these flashy things. No. People must feel your strength. People must feel your heart. People must feel your conviction. You are convinced that your work matters because it does. So check in with yourself. Where are you in this conversation? Are you 1 foot out? Are you 2 feet out? That's fine. I would much rather you be 2 feet out. Because then at that standpoint, you can put 2 feet in something else. Please stop straddling that line. It's a death sentence. You'll never get there from here. When you step both feet back in, when you stand back in the arena, ready to play the game, you're on the field instead of in the stands like 99.999% of people in this world. They're what we call the armchair quarterbacks. They can sit back and watch the football game and say, he should have threw it there. The guy was open over there, but they're not in the game. They don't got things flying at them. They don't got people, trying to take their head off in the football game. It's easy for them to sit back and say, this is how you should have done it. Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you see that? It's easy for them. They're not in the game. You are. And so if you're in the game, you're in the game. But if you're in the stands or if you're playing a different game, you're playing a different game. You cannot have 1 foot on the stands, 1 foot on the sidelines, and 1 foot on the field. It just does not work that way. So take this as a rally cry. Take this as an opportunity for you to stand back in. Get in the game. Recommit, refocused. Find your center. Find that 0 point where you're at your freaking best, no matter what happens in the external environment, no matter how people respond to your message, no matter How many people take you up on your offers? If you're working from this 0 point, knowing that your work matters, and just as long as you're working and walking this path with heart, everything is working out for you. So let's get back in the game. Let's get back in the game. 2 feet in or 2 feet out. What'll it be? All right, guys. That was what was on my heart today. I feel it. I see a lot of people straddling that line. I see a lot of people thinking that they're committed, but they're not fully committed. Hey, look, I've been there. I'll call myself on it too. Last year was tough. Right now, I got 2 feet in. Are you coming with me? Are we on the field? Or are we straddling that sideline? You know the drill. Your people need you. And if your people stay stuck, my people stay stuck, you and I stay stuck, because we're all in this together. So if you're so focused on yourself and why doesn't this and why doesn't that, and I got to pivot again and I got to do this next thing, if you're straddling that damn line, let's go. Let's play full out. 2 feet in, playing full out. That's the message for today. I trust that this message finds you well. If anything struck a chord with you, if anything hit home with you, I'd love to hear about it. Send me a note over on Instagram. I just always love to hear from those who are listening. I got some great feedback off the last podcast episode. So I'm here. I'm here for you. If you need anything, if you're looking for more guidance, more accountability, more support, if you're looking for somebody that's going to hold you to a higher standard, then send me a note. We'll chat more. Much love to you and your people, your family, your clients, your customer, your audience, everybody that you're here to impact, everybody that you're here to touch. So go help more people today. The world needs more heart-centered leaders now more than ever. So damn it, let's go lead. All right, talk soon. Love you guys. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Adam Kadu podcast. If you would, take a moment to subscribe and click the bell icon so that way you get notified when future episodes air. Now, here's the thing. If you are looking for the show notes, you can find a link to those below. If you're looking for the handles of the guests that I've been interviewing, things of that nature, you'll find that here. And if there's anything else that stood out to you in the episode, or if there's anything I can do for you, please leave a comment below, or for sure message me on Instagram if you'd like, as I'm always looking to hear what's working well for you and what caught your interest about the Adam Kadu podcast. So, time to go, time to change the world, time to help more people. Are you ready? Let's go do this thing. The world needs more leaders. So thanks again for listening to the Adam Kadu podcast.